Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to cut and sew a chantilly lace gown. So if it's what you would like to learn, kindly watch till the end. So I could not cut directly on my fabric because of the stretchiness of my chantilly net. So I had to use my pattern paper to cut first. Placing my tape from the top line of my pattern paper or from the tip of my pattern paper, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. This 1 inch is the way I'm going to start my measurements from. So I will make a mark there and I'll use my straight ruler to square across. Now this is my top. I'm going to level this my top line. Now after marking my top line, I'm going to place my tape from my top line. I'm going to measure down to my waist line on my half length line. The half length I'm using is 16 inches. So I marked 16 inches. I marked 16 inches and I'm going to use my straight ruler to square across. So after marking my half length line, I'll place my tape on my half length line and I'm going to measure down to my hip line. The hip line I'm using is 9 inches. So I make a mark there and I'm going to use my ruler to square across. So my pattern paper was not long enough for cutting off for the drafting of this gown. It was not long enough. It was not 60 inches. So I had to get another paper to complete it. Use my masking tape to mark my second paper on top of my first paper. So after masking my second paper on top of my first paper, I'm going to place my tape on my top line from my top line and I'm going to measure downwards to my full length. The full length of this dress is 60 inches, so that is what I'm marking. I will make a mark there and I use my straight ruler to square across. After marking my full length, I came back to my top line and I'm going to impute my shoulder divided by 2 on my top line. So my shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2 is 8. So I marked it on my top line. Now I'm going to come down by ½ inch for the shoulder slant and I'm also going to place my tape on my top line. I'm going to measure downwards to my bust line. The bust line I'm making use of is 10 inches. So I marked my bust line and I also marked my chest line. My chest line is 2 inches upwards from my bust line, which is 8 inches. So I marked my bust line and my chest line, which is 8 inches and 10 inches. I made a mark there and I used my ruler to square across. Now on my chest line, I also marked my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I marked it on my chest line. Then I used my straight ruler to connect the 8 inches on my top line and to the 8 inches on my chest line. Then for my neck measurements at the front, my neck width measurement at the front, I came in by 2.5 inches, and for my neck depth, I also came in by 2.5 inches. Then I used my ruler to draw my shoulder slant. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of this straight line I drew, and I'm going to come in by ½ inch. Then on my chest line, I divided my bust by 4 and I marked it on my chest line. Then I used my ruler to connect my shoulder slants. The ½ inch I came in by, and also my bust measurement at my chest line to form my armhole. Now notice that I did not add any allowance because of the stretchiness of this fabric or the fabric I'm using. So I'm not adding any allowance. Now I also marked my bust divided by 4 on my bust line. Now on my waistline, my waist measurement is 30 inches. I divided by 4, which is 7.5. I marked it on my waistline. Now for my hip line, I did the same thing as well. I divided my hip measurements by 4 inches and I marked it on my hip line. Now for my full length, at the full length of this dress, I minus 1 inch. You can minus 1 inch or half inch from your hip. What you got from your hip divided by 4, you're going to mark it at your full length. Now after marking this point, I'm going to use my ruler to connect all the points. So after connecting all the points, I started cutting. Now this is the fabric I'm using. This fabric is too stretchy. The fabric is too stretchy, so I could not cut on my table. I had to cut on the floor. I had to cut on the floor because of the length and stretchiness of this fabric. I folded my fabric into two. I folded my fabric into two and I placed my pattern on it. I placed my pattern on my fabric after folding it into two. So this is it. I use my scissors to trace exactly as it is on my pattern paper. Remember, you're not adding any allowance to this because of the stretchiness of this fabric. You're going to secure it with a pin first before using your scissors to cut back first. Then I'm going to place my pattern paper and I'm also going to cut the front. The front and the back is the same thing. The only difference is the neck measurement. So after cutting it, I also cut my sleeve. I did it off camera. Now, after cutting it, you're going to join both sides with using 1 inch. And for the neck area, you are not turning it because of the stretchiness of the fabric. If you turn your neck with a bias, it's not going to enter, it's not going to pass through your head. So you're not turning it. You're going to leave everything like that. So you're going to join both the sleeve. After joining the sleeve, you're going to use 1 inch to join both sides. After joining it, this is the outcome. I've joined it with 1 inch. I joined both sides with 1 inch, and this is the outcome. Hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. So after cutting it, I also went ahead to cut my sleeve. I did this off camera. After cutting it, I'm going to join it with 1 inch. You know what?